Hey guys, this is a Sago Palm. It's actually it's got a cyclad. It's a family of prehistoric plants. These guys have been around since the dinosaurs, and they're still around. They are very very toxic. Every part of this plant is toxic. The fronds, the base, the roots, the flowers. They do make flowers. Um, the seeds, everything about it's very toxic. So you really probably don't want to have one of these if you've got curious pets that like to chew on your plants or do anything at all with your plants. In Florida, where the people have these in their landscape, they've had problems with animals in the neighborhood getting debris or limbs or whatever it's blew off, getting sick or dying because of the chewing on it. You play fetch with a stick. You don't want to play fetch with a stick with one of these. Um, Picked this up today. I should kind of look around at Lowe's. That's kind of everything about getting another spider plant. And end up getting another one of these. I've had a lot of these little trees, and I like them. The reason I don't still have a lot of these little trees because they're tough as nails, and they'll stick with you. Is I read a study where somebody got one to grow. Well, it was a study at the University of Miami, but Miami in Ohio, and they got one to grow there and come back through the wintertime. They're not hardy below 50 degrees, but they put a lot of mulch on it, and they did, just take a lot of care, and they got it to come back. It did defoliate completely, but it did come back for a few years there, and that was in six, zone six. I'm in six, seven, so I've tried that and tried that and tried that. I never had the same experience. I've had one or two come back and try to come back, and then get a late frost or whatever, and it kind of just finishes the job. And I'm not even obsessed with that, so that's why I didn't have one until today. Now that I do have another one, I don't think I'm gonna try the little. I think I can make it work thing again because it's just not going to work. I mean, they people give you the zone hardiness things for a reason, and if a plant's not going to work in your winter planted in the landscape, it's not going to work. So, but they do love sun. Summertime they can take it just as hot as you want to give it to it. Get it acclimated to the sunlight, and it'll take all day sun, 100-degree heat. I mean, it'll sit there and bake. It's that winter time. It's that coldness that's gonna hurt them. So you can put them outside in the summertime or the springtime. Get them acclimated to the sun from being inside, and they'll sit there and bake outside, all year round. Then when it turns in the late fall, it's going to get down below 50 degrees. You bring it back in, winter it through your house, put it back outside in the spring, and you're going to have a very happy plant. Also, just leave them in all year round, which you can do so if you want to leave them in. And in the wintertime when you got to bring them in, just find a very sunny, or not very sunny, but because no place in your house is going to be considered sunny, but a very high light location. And because they the more light they can get, the better. They like it somewhere away from drafts. They don't like cold temperatures at all. So somewhere away from drafts, but a lot of high light. And in the wintertime, you want to let it completely dry out. I mean, get bone dry between waterings. Maybe water it maybe once a month. Summertime, they like when they're in actively growing. They do like a little moisture. They don't like to completely dry out. They want to stay a little moist. I mean, they're not going to, and just like almost every other plant, they're not going to want to set in water, and they're not going to tolerate setting in stagnant water. It's going to cause root rot. They're going to die. But they don't want to completely dry. They want to stay a little moist. They like to drink the water, and they like to that makes them happy. So don't let it completely dry. It's not a cactus. It's not a succulent. So it doesn't. Though it does store some water in its rather bulbous trunk here. They they don't like to be dried out. They like a lot of water. So keep it well watered in the summertime, especially if it's outside. It's outside in the full sun in a container, which dries out a lot faster than the ground. I mean, everything about that screams dry. 90 degrees, sun's sucking all the water up. It's already in a container, which is going to lose water faster anyway than the ground. So just keep it watered, keep it happy. Bring it in the wintertime, or if not, leave it in the in the house all year round. Just put it in a sunny location or a highlight location. Same rules apply if you really been in all year round. Water it, keep it watered in the summer because plants know. They know when it's summertime and when it's wintertime and by the light that they're getting. You know, you're gonna put it in a bright window and it knows it's getting more light and the right kind of light in June than it was getting in January. I mean, so they know even in that environment they're going to have growing seasons and non-growing seasons, dormant seasons. Every plant needs to hibernate for a little while to be healthy, just like a bear or whatever else. It needs its dormant season, just like it needs its active growing season. So during those times, it's going to use more water. It's going to require more water. Fertilize it with good slow release fertilizer. These are slow growing plants. They're not going to jump up on you 3 feet in a week. So you don't need to over fertilize them because they're not going to put on a lot of extra leaves and a lot of extra fronds and just be taking over the house in a month and a half. They're real slow growing. You might get their new growth comes up as like it's like a fuzzy little shoot. It'd be like two little fronds, and they slowly kind of unfurl themselves, and they come out. And then as they age, they spread out. Like you see the spreading habit, and that's kind of what they do. They just kind of unfurl out and make more and more and more, and then the bottom part becomes more of that trunk. Eventually, that'll get bigger and bigger, bigger. And outside where they can live, like in Florida, I mean, these get 15, 20, 25 feet high and get huge. They're never going to do that in your house. They're never going to do that in a container, here. But they can, over time, get very pretty big. But it does take a long time. They're not, like I said, slow growers, which also makes them a good candidate for a house. It doesn't just take over. You can put them in that pot. The pot, even when they come in, you don't have to re repot them as soon as you bring them home. What everybody knows good repotting practices. One size bigger, and you can go do that. They'll last in that for 2 to 3 years. You don't have to do that every 6 months or even every year, which is the minimum for most plants. You can go 2 to 3 years with these because they're so slow growing. And really great beginner plant. I mean, I put them right up there. If you can put them in a good light source, I put them right up there with the snake plant and the pothos. The super easiest beginner plants you can find. And these are right there. Don't overwater them. Give them a good light source and just leave them alone. I mean, don't overwater them. Don't underwater them. Well, don't overwater them. They can be underwatered. Get the good light. I mean, it makes Snake plants, pothos, they're real more forgiving on the lot than these guys are. But other than that, they're plants of steel. As long as you let them get too cold, and but snake plants and pothos are the same way. They'll both die of cold weather or let them get too cold. But and they thrive on neglect. Other than that, they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to be over fertilized. They don't want to be messed with. Put them somewhere they're happy. Leave them alone. And you can be happy because it's not going to take your living room. It's going to stay pretty much like it is. It's going to take it years to get any size on it where it's too big and you have to worry about what to do with it. Really good, really good house plant, really good beginner plant. As long as you don't have pets or nothing's going to try to chew on it or do anything stupid, I don't think you'll be happy with it. Pick one up and give it a shot, guys. Remember, it takes a lot of different ingredients to make a lot of soup. You gotta stay safe and happy Easter. It's officially now Easter as I record this. It's just turned a little after midnight on Easter Sunday. So happy Easter. I love you. God loves you. And everybody stay safe.